good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Hello and welcome today. Today you're just joined by me. And, I'm just chatting here, so it's just me chatting about things. Yeah, I do have artists in on this channel, and this week I didn't get one in. But that's okay, we're leading up to we're going to have more artists in eventually. I can't make it every week that I have a video, a video with an artist in. I can only make it as much as I can. They does come in, they give up their time, they give up whatever it is, some of them they may want to wake up early for me or something like that. I'm usually the one though that does the waking up early or the staying up late or something like that to try and arrange with these artists. But they are doing quite a bit, which is awesome. And this is my channel, so it's me running it. There's not exactly those artists in. I'm not the Ellen show or something like that. I can't get all these people in every week. I can only get as many as I get, which is great. It's awesome to have some great artists that I've added in so far. It's been amazing. But yeah, I wanted to chat to you about pretty much following your passion. So this is kind of a little bit scripted per se. I have what I want to say in my head. I have kind of the title for this video already sorted. That's usually not the way it goes with these streams. I talk with artists and then we have a certain kind of topic that we fall into, and that kind of names the video, kind of a thing. I do have the weekly tips where I do have to come up with the idea of what I'm going to talk about and then chat about that, and just discuss that. I usually record them on Sunday night. By then I have an idea, but sometimes I don't always have an idea, and I just go with what the first thing that pops in my head sometimes. But yeah, following your passion. So yeah, this video's you can see me painting page 11 of my book, page 12, I think it's page 12. But yeah, you can see me painting a new page here. I've had many pages that I've created so far, and there's only one more page to go. So I'm pretty sure this is page 12, because I'm working on 13 at the moment, and I've got the next page. It's it's getting more difficult to keep up with what page I'm actually on, but I know that I've only got one page to go, so this is page 12, 13 and 14. And I'm it's kind of putting it together slowly into the final product, which is very fun. But I'm still working on those 2 pages till I get to that. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, following your passion. I basically started off 10 years ago, I'd say, is when I started to get a bit more serious about this kind of creative side of myself. So when I was always creative, I was creating things in Lego and Bionicle, and also I always like to do other stuff like creating videos, drawings, illustrations, stories. I like to have imaginative characters in my head, give them stories, backgrounds, all sorts of things. A bit of Kingdom Hearts kind of inspired me to create my own stuff. And TV shows and movies and things that really help to get that imaginative side out, and that imaginative side out I grew up with it my whole life, of not stopping imagining and imagining things and creating things. It's just it's a passion of mine, and it's something I really, really love to do, is to create things. So that was always my passion. But when I was 14, 15, I kind of around that age, I wanted to be a vet, kind of a thing. At that age, but I've said this before. I wanted to be a vet, but yeah, I decided not to because I didn't really like all the blood and cutting open animals and just all that kind of stuff I couldn't handle. So I was like, well, there's no use me being a vet if I'm actually not gonna do anything. And yeah, I thought about maybe zookeeping and animals, but I love animals. But I was in a time where I was getting not liking school and just not enjoying life and things like that. It What I really love to do is to draw and create, so that's kind of a thing I thought to get into. And I saw Family Guy. Family Guy I really enjoyed. I came home pretty much and watched some, maybe a soap or something, and then I'll wait until like they used to have like 7 o'clock. They'd have Family Guy, and they'd have like American Dad and all those things, and I kind of thought that was cool. And I also saw Lego creations on YouTube, so I wanted to be an animator to start off with because I like those kind of animation things. I liked seeing animators. I liked seeing American Dad, and I wanted to create something like that. But it was more like I wanted to do this. I wanted to create animations, but I never actually did anything about it per se. I created characters and concepts and ideas about it, but actually doing the animation was a bit more of a struggle for me to do. So in the end, it was a thing where it was like, well, I'm actually, I like it, I like animation and things like that, and creating concepts and creating the idea of animation, but I don't actually like animating. So in the end, it was like a battle of what I actually love doing, and what I love doing is actually creating the characters and concepts and the illustrations and everything else towards an animation rather than the actual animating of the thing. So that's where my passion grew. My passion grew into drawing, illustrating, creating, drawing animals at first, then just drawing characters in my own thing. Now I'm doing children's book. I'm creating my own children's book, and that's really awesome. I mean, I don't think probably 4 or 5 years ago I'd be here doing YouTube videos, and creating children's books, and me grasping that I wanted to learn to draw, really get good at drawing. I did want to do a little bit of 3D, but in the end, drawing was my big hobby. Then I went into school design, where I learned a lot of drawing. We didn't learn like any like 3D stuff, but we learned a lot of 2D stuff, creating posters and things like that, and that all involved some sort of drawing and creating. I did try out 3D, try to get good at 3D, but I just decided, eventually down the track, this became the thing. Me creating my own thing, creating 2D illustrations was me, and that's what I followed, and I followed that through into UCOL, obviously. You might be, might feel like a broken record. I might have said this before and things like that. You might know my whole journey by now if you're a big fan of this channel, or if you have seen some of my previous videos. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. Sorry for the cough there. It's pretty much my story, is that I got into animation, and that I wanted to become more of an illustrator later on. And then at my second year of design, I just decided that's what I wanted, a children's illustrator, some sort of illustrating. And then I went to school design in Wanganui, and that's when I decided a bit further into my niche. That took 3 years to get where I am, and then so not everyone, follows their passion. Um, some people have a passion for doing things, and then they say that's not getting me any money, so I can't do it, and they say that's too childish to do, or something like that. So, you got to do jobs and things like that. Some people don't always follow their passion, um, which is unfortunate for some people. But if you're like me and you follow your passion, that's great. You're probably tuned into the right channel, which is awesome. I really appreciate you come check this out. I've had experience in failing, in succeeding, and there is no one path, and you can learn things from my channel and from me and my story and things like that, and also the people that I chat with as well. You can learn things about their stories, which has been really great to learn about their stories, and how they came about, and how they've lead up to today. Like last week I had Fir Ender, and she's an amazing artist, and she's working on her own personal works, which is something I felt that beginning, I thought that it couldn't really be done. You kind of need to work on other people's projects, and other people's work in studios and things like that. But you can, it's just it's definitely challenging to get there. And yeah, I've been through a lot of challenges, and I'm still going through challenges. For now, I'm working a full-time non-artistic job. But that's the thing. At the moment, I'm working on my book. At the moment, you see me working on this book I'm working on, and just trying to get better at my craft. But that I'm still happy with doing that, with doing my craft on the side while I'm doing full-time work. And I think that's something to aim for, is just to be happy. I mean, I would love to be an illustrator full-time doing this and things like that, sitting down and actually illustrating every day, doing drawings, creating books. I'd like to create way more books than I have at the moment. I've got two, and I've got to edit one. One's slightly together. This one I've just I've put together. I'm up to page 13, so it's been a while, and it's took me 3 months, or 4 months, around about it's about 5-6 months, something like that. Anyway, so it's taken me quite a while, like half a year almost, working on this project, which is a long time. I feel like if I had done this full time, this was a full time job, I might have got it down within half of that time at least. But yeah, what it is, and I accept that's what you've got to do. Accept the time that you do have. I mean, some of us might be listening to this, and we do have a full-time studio job, and happy with that. And also want to do their personal projects as well. And sometimes might be just starting out doing illustration. They might be on a class, either doing online classes, or actually doing just real like courses or something like that. Which is I mean, I started out wanting to be an illustrator when it was more of a thing, when it was fresh kind of in New Zealand. Like there was heaps of class courses and things you could go on. They were bigly advertised, getting you into the gaming industry and things like that. There were, and a lot of companies do feed off that, follow your passion kind of a thing, which can be misleading, because it's like, well, if you love it, you're going to get a job in it if you take this course, which is unfortunate for a lot of people, because they start getting disappointed at the end of end of the course when they don't really have a job to go to, and they get a bit disheartened, which is unfortunate. I mean, it happens to us all. It's some artists I know are going from job to job, just trying to live out and try and find a job, and they get luck and find the job. Others, I just have a lot of jobs coming in, and yeah, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw, like where you're living. Sometimes if there's a lot of studios around you, you can go to those studios and try and get into those studios. For me, I don't have any studios around me, so I'm trying to find things online. But for me, I'm just creating my own personal work, and I'm happy doing that, which is great. I'm still doing it. I mean, there are times where it's a bit tough, and I don't know what to draw, or I want to be getting paid for this, but I'm just happy creating these YouTube videos at the moment, creating these things, which is awesome. But yeah, some of us want a bit more, I definitely want to be a full-time illustrator. That'd be great. But yeah, it is a bit of a hard thing to get into, per se. I mean, I've been trialing this for years, and I mean, you've just got to find a place that will take you. And I think that first little leap can be very hard. I mean, I remember back when I was doing a course, we had to find a job. That was a big leap because, one, I didn't want to do design really, and so everything they had was kind of like, well, that's not what I want to do, like design a poster, design a logo, design text and flyers and things like that. There were some of those, so it was going to be that I would have to take one of those projects, but in the end I found a little company in Fielding that took me on, and that was so awesome. It was great. It was out of the blue luck. She, like the last week of actually trying to find someone, she actually contacted me, and I got it all in, and it was sweet. I actually got to do that project, and that took a lot of hard work and searching, and that's the thing. It takes a lot of searching to find a client. It's hard work. I found a client. Sometimes it's out of the blue. Like, I've had a logo that I had to design. It was out of the blue. They just came and wanted a logo, and I was the only one at the time that would take it on. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that on, and yeah, I'll do that for you, and I did it, and it was awesome. So yeah, but it took a lot of searching for one of the projects. I went to a bookshop and asked them, do they know anyone that's looking for an illustrator, and they had a bunch of people to try contact. Eventually they found someone that was looking for someone, so I got in contact with them, and then they got back to me, and they actually wanted someone at that time, so that was, there's a coincidence, kind of awesome. And I've had an offer from her other than that, but at the time I was real busy with doing my own projects for my course, so I couldn't take it on, unfortunately. Going back, maybe I could have done it, possibly, but then I wouldn't have passed my course. And for me, passing that course was really a crucial thing, because I was working on a personal project that has brought me to a higher level. Without completing that, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, like creating this book, and things like that. It showed me I've got more potential in there. I've always got more to learn. I'm always learning. Yeah, and for now I'm working on my personal projects, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm just working on my projects. I mean, eventually, hopefully they'll pay out, because well, if I get this book printed, maybe there might be some of yous or some people or some children that may enjoy these stories and books. So there could be a potential of getting printed, and actually getting published from someone possibly. There's potential there. If I get to a good enough level, I've got to really push it a bit further. Yeah, and it's been a great journey so far. It's been well, at a level where it was like, well, this is what I actually want to do for a living. It's been like 10 years ish, of me wanting to do stuff. It's definitely challenging to find clients. You really have to go out of your way to find them. And that's the thing, and at the moment I'm not in any state to go out of my way to find clients. I'm quite happy just creating my own projects and creating these, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just creating these projects one after another, just trying to get somewhere, trying to get better. I'm creating different situations. 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been like, well, I can't draw this, 5 years ago, I would have been like, well, I need to draw this from reference, and I'd be quite closely looking at reference and taking my time. I wouldn't be able to produce this like every week. But I was listening to one of the Bobby Chio videos, and he was talking a bit about when you work at it slowly and then you gradually get faster. And yeah, that's a thing that people get wrong. I've got it wrong where it's like, well, paint faster and faster, and it's like, well, are you achieving anything? And a lot of the times you want to be like, well, I want to be able to create this within a week, or I want to be able to create this within a day. And last night I had a good paint. I had about an hour of me just sitting there painting, no distractions, no nothing, which was awesome. It was great just to sit there and just paint. I don't think I've done that for a while. I've always had like distractions on the side doing thing, or have a break and get back to it, things like that. So it's great just to have that hour of just illustrating, which it's hard to get back in that routine. When you've been kind of always just had other distractions, and have to come back it, and you get to do like 5-10 minutes, and then you have something else to do, and then you got to get back. That gets annoying, and that can frustrate you and things like that. And yeah, that's what it's like to have a full-time job sometimes when you're painting, and have other things on the side. Yeah, it gets quite tough. But you get through it, and that's the thing. Yeah, so the main focus for this video was basically to talk about your passion. And I've seen quite a few like videos about following your passion, and I've actually seen something along the lines of don't follow your passion. That's a bad thing, and things like that. But I mean, I'm not here to tell you follow your passion or don't. It's I mean, we're all gonna do what we love to do. Kind of a thing along. If I got about, we're almost halfway through this video, so that's awesome. A little bit more to talk about here. Yeah, so I'm not here to tell you don't follow your passion, or follow your passion kind of thing. I just want to like shout out my perspective on it. Passion, you've got to fight for it. I've been fighting to do what I love to do. I fight for it constantly, like every day. I've got to wake up early. Getting out of bed is at 6 a.m. It can be challenging some days. There are days where I skip that of getting up early, and because maybe I've done a later night or things like that. There's all-nighters I've pulled for getting stuff done and things like that. It's a constant battle. I have to get up early to do some painting in the morning, when baby's not up. So I've got to be up before she gets up. Usually if she is up, she's just screaming for a bottle, so I just have to give her a bottle, and then she's fine for about, usually goes back down for another half an hour, so I get at least like an hour's painting without her, and then I get like a couple of 5-10 minute bits in of me painting while she's having toast, or she's distracted doing something else while I get to paint, So it's always a constant battle and things like that. I mean, the best time is when she's asleep at night. So about 8 p.m. ish, she's asleep. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's like the time when I do get to paint, and not all the time I'm painting. I've had a long day. Sometimes I just feel like playing a game or doing something else. So sometimes I go to just do it, and I mean, my schedule's built up for that. I don't have to always paint all the time. I mean, I love doing it, but it's definitely, it's like last night I really loved to actually paint with no distraction and just painting. It was awesome. I love doing that. But there are times where it's like, well, I actually don't feel like painting. I want to do this or want to do something else just for a little bit. Or it's that I have to do something else, like I have to edit this video for tomorrow. Like last night I had to get this video exported so I could actually stream with it. And yeah, or I may have to, it's that I've got to go to bed early because I got a stream in the morning, early in the morning. Or it's a show that I would have watched with my partner, So there's all these other things that I've got on. So I've got to decide sometimes when is, what is the right thing to do. And it's totally my own decision, It's always our own decision whether we sit down and watch Netflix or whatever you're watching, like Game of Thrones. I don't watch it, but the people that watch that kind of stuff sit down and just watch shows, watch movies. It's all your own choice, and that's the thing. If you're following your passion, you're wanting to do this as a living, you want to actually be able to do this, you've got to make sacrifices to follow your passion. For me per se, even doing course, that was a sacrifice. It means I have a student loan for one of the sacrifices, which means that I've got a little bit. It's not like a lot of money, but I've got a little bit of money coming away from my paycheck each week, slowly paying it off. I mean, it's not so much that sorry for the cough. I've had a little bit of cold this week. It's been quite challenging to get rid of and things like that. Anyway, I was saying that it's not too much money that I'm like, oh, I can't survive on it or things like that, but it's just that little bit of money that I could have spent on a coffee each week, or a little treat each week. So that's a little sacrifices. A lot of people have to do it, paying off their student loan, work to pay it off slowly. I mean, yeah, it's a small amount, but you still have to pay it off. It's still coming out of your paycheck each week, so it can be more of a nuisance to some people than it is others. And I've always been good with my money, and that's the thing. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm not in debt, and just trying to save up and buy things when I can really afford them, not like if I get a loan for $2,000 and slowly pay it off kind of a thing. I don't really like to be any more debt. Things like that. I'm always kind of good with my money. I mean, I do splurge every now and again. I bought some chocolates yesterday or something. But it's not like I go out and buy the most fanciest phone. I don't have a fancy phone at all. I just have a simple, cheap touch phone. It's really a cheapy one. It doesn't do much. I just use it pretty much to post on Instagram, and just to check emails. It's very simple. It's really old one. And I have a simple button phone for texting, and that's about it. And they don't cost me a lot. It only costs me like $10 a week, to run $10 a month, sorry, to run run that, and then the actual phones only costed me together, about $100 NZD. I mean, I don't know what that might be, like 150 USD dollars ish. It's not that much compared to like an i7 or something like that. It cost me $600 or something. I don't. That's a sacrifice that I made to spend less on those like luxury kind of things like phones. I don't have fancy TVs. Those are some sacrifices I've got to make to make sure I have money, so I can keep painting, because it is important to, have some money there, because, for instance, for me paying my tablet, I don't have a PS4 now. I would have had a PS4. I had this money. I was thinking getting a PS4, but I actually got a tablet instead, and that was really reasonable for me, because it was back in the day where, it was more expensive. Like, there are tablets now that are $1,000 for what I've got. It was a couple more than that. But compared to me getting a PS4, it was a very good option, Yeah, and recently got a new computer, which was awesome. I mean, it's keeping me doing these paintings, as it really was becoming more of a struggle to paint on my old computer. There was video exporting times that has increased. It doesn't take me as much longer to actually export them. There was all the problems of actually turning on the computer. I had to turn on the computer, then I have to wait a couple of minutes for it to warm up, then I can paint slowly, and sometimes the actual painting, and I couldn't do anything else when I was painting. I could maybe look on YouTube and things like that, but other than that I couldn't really do much. Now I can kind of, do other stuff. I can export a video while I'm recording painting as well. There's certain things. But you've got to have a little bit of money there to do things with. Like, eventually I want to save up a little bit so that maybe I could look into having a couple of weeks off. But it's good here in New Zealand. You save up leave, so you can have like 2 weeks off of work. I don't know about other countries, how it works, how they have time off work and still get paid for it. I'm not sure how those things work, but definitely here in New Zealand, we, like Time Bank, we can have 2 weeks paid leave every year, so I'm looking forward to that. At the end of my year, being able to take 2 weeks off. And I'll probably just illustrate during those 2 weeks as much as I can. I'm getting paid for it, and also illustrating, which is really happy. It's the same for annual leave days, like Christmas Day. Like, we have Queen's birthday coming up. We have like Labour Day here. We have Waitangi Day. We have Easter Friday. Those days you get paid for. if you're working those days, say if it's a Friday, Good Friday, you get paid, and you don't have to come to work. Which is just I enjoy those days where it's like I don't have to work. Back a couple of months ago, I was just on casual. So we usually didn't get any work those times, but you didn't get paid for it. Which was a bonus because at that time in my life, though, before having this job, I was just working to earn a little bit of cash. I wasn't worried about working a full 40 hours. If I could, I would do a full 40 hours, but in the end, it kind of annoyed some things, working 40 hours and then having to keep up with this and doing other things. I was getting to the end of I'd rather have the week off or something like that. I wasn't too worried about if I had work that week or not. Now that I'm full time, I'm starting to build up money slowly, which is great. It's something you need to do. You kind of this doesn't exactly pay me. That's the thing. You've got to find something that pays you. You could find something online that you don't have to do a lot with. For instance, I could do affiliate marketing or something like that. Sorry. That may, kind of earn me some money on the side of things like that. But I choose to actually do my book and trying to get that underway. So yeah, basically I'm saying, you gotta follow your passion, but be smart about it, and, yeah, you can look at it in money wise. If you love creating stuff, you love drawing, there are jobs out there that you could do. For instance, I've seen a job of drawing basically manga, hentai art kind of things. So if I was just worried about getting paid for drawing, then I could have been like, well, here we go, I'll learn drawing this and I would have got paid. If I was doing, maybe, for instance, if I was doing that kind of thing that has a bit more, usually that kind of thing has a little bit more of a liking towards it. Unfortunately, a lot of people like that kind of thing. Then I might have actually been paid by now to do this kind of thing already, but it's not something I really like doing. So yeah, it's got to be challenging. You got to be smart about it too. You got to pay the bills. I'm working. So I'm working to pay the bills. I'm working towards maybe building a fund. So eventually, I've got that money there, so I could put it into this book. I could print it out. Maybe I might be able to do a little advertising with it, and things like that. So I've got some money there to print this book and keep creating. To maybe if I wanted to do a gouache paint, I've got money there to paint a gouache painting if I want. You gotta be mindful about it as well. Money's not important to me. I just it's kind of, you just need to, for me, I just need to be able to pay the bills, and still have money there to do other things that I want to do, like print this book out and things like that. I really want to get this printed, and things like that. I've got another book that I want to get created, and just do that. So yeah, this has been me talking about a bit about following my passion. Hopefully you do follow yours and you keep creating, you keep going towards what you're passionate about. Yeah, I just want to say keep pushing, keep creating, keep drawing, and check out my videos. I should expand on this at some point in my videos. You can check out my YouTube channel as well. Here's my YouTube channel. Daniel Jamison Illustrates. Whether you are watching it on my channel, please do, you know, subscribe and hit that, you know, notification button. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.